A good day, jolly good morning to y'all.
There's nothing jolly good about the goddamn weather right now. But no, hey, thank you for tuning in and welcome back.
Happy 2020, you little bastards.
Yes, 2020. It's surreal, really. It's one of those dates you're like, 2020, it's coming. And then when it's here, you're like, holy fuck, it's here.
Did you think you'd be alive to see 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't know what condition I'd be in, but yes, I knew it would be around to see 2020.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. But Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
And as a special New Year's gift, we have a treat for you coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our guest on this program.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy this.
He's our most famous person so far.
I think so. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
The one, the only, Ryan.
Belleville.
There you go.
Not from Belleville.
Not from Belleville. No,
Belleville.
he's currently living in L.A., but he's on a bunch of stuff. He's a writer, he's an actor, he's a comedian, and he's a good friend of ours. And his dad, obviously, as well.
He's a dad.
Yeah, definitely
He
a dad.
is definitely a dad. So we'll get to him.
He's a real motherfucker, right?
That's the thing is, like, once you, start having kids, you enter the MILF stage of your life. Like, the MILF sex stage.
Yep.
Where you're
like, yeah, it's a mom. Yeah.
I am having sex with a mother now.
Yeah, I'm a real motherfucker. It's great. It's true. You know. Technically, somebody told me once that, like, if you're a boy and you're vaginally born, you're a motherfucker at birth. I'm like, but there was no penetration. It's like going, oh, you didn't fuck your mother at birth. It just...
Yeah, I would side with you
side with me on that one, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think she just wanted to call us motherfuckers. Personally, I was like, I get it. I totally get it. A lot of us are fucking total pieces of shit. So
Bo Burnham has like a really funny line in one of his songs where it's like Oedipus was the first motherfucker.
Yeah, he truly was.
He truly was. Have you seen that? Have you seen that clip online of Barbara Walters being like, "Hello, it's good evening, it's 2020." And it's just like a repeat of her saying,
"No,
it's 2020," over and over again from every single time she hosted in 2020. I thought that was funny.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Our last episode was Mike Dambra, and then we took some time off over the holidays. This is technically like a new season.
Yes, technically a new season, and time off over the holidays was great. Yourself?
Yeah, well, we all ended up with the flu.
Oh, right. Yeah,
right, that's why this is delayed.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't come by, and you hadn't even done any shows.
Yeah, we went down December 29th. Like, Kate started puking December 29th.
Ooh.
I started puking January 1st. Then we both finally settled that probably earlier this week, and we're on, the 12th now?
Wow.
It was about a week and a half.
That's fucking... terrible.
It was nasty. We're lucky that the baby didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, the baby did get a fever, a little bit of a fever and some congestion, but we were able to really monitor it with just watching her fever and giving baby Advil.
The Advil, Tylenol.
And she didn't sleep that great through it, but that's to be expected, right? We were all sick, and
that's a thing that'll happen for sure.
New Year's Eve. What did you do New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve was actually me and the wife's 10-year anniversary of being together. Not our wedding anniversary, but our actually 10-year anniversary of when we decided to become a couple. And so our New Year's is always pretty subdued. We have a big seafood scoff and a steak at home. Okay. And with the kids, we have our own ball drop. And this year, Eddie and I played video games right up until a minute before. He's discovered the Wii, and the little bugger's really good at it. So it was fun. It was fun. They actually, because my wife's very much of the point, it's holidays, who cares? She actually let them stay up to the official midnight.
Okay.
And then the next couple of days, trying to get them back into a schedule was like, I was laughing at her. I was laughing at her. But I also gave her a late Christmas gift of renovating the living room.
Okay.
Put a brand new floor in out there. Raised the floor up 6 inches. Put a brand new floor in.
Yeah, because it's like a big drop into your living room.
There was a big drop into the living room because it was my garage at one point in time. Because 3 years ago we made room for my teenagers, so we took out the theater room from downstairs, and I converted the garage. And then, anyway, so I took finally the floor off the 2x4s on the cement and put it up on 2x6 and gave laminate, which is way cleaner for kids.
Yeah.
Man, if you ever think you're going to, kids and carpet would be a great idea. I'm like, yeah, if you'd like to get rid of that.
Carpet's awful in general.
In general, yeah. I mean,
what are we, the 1960s?
Yeah, exactly. Shag carpeting, crap like that. So yeah, that was it. It was New Year's, good time.
Are you a New Year's resolutions dude? Like New Year, New Me?
No, but I do a lighter January. This year I'm actually drying out in January. I'm not drinking anything.
Which is why we're drinking...
sipping on God's creation of water.
Water.
H2O. Oh my goodness. It is so delicious. And if you're paying attention, this same water we've been drinking has been around since the time of dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs have pissed it out. I wonder how many people this water has been inside of.
Yeah. That'd be great. Tasty. Now with more fluoride.
With more fluoride. That's right. That's our last episode. It is tap water.
It is tap water put through the Brita. Thank God they came up with that.
No, we didn't use it. I didn't put it through the Brita. I just put it in the jug.
Oh, is that what that taste of now I want to go shopping is?
We have a Brita filter in the back of the fridge that we just never use.
Just sits there.
We just fill up a jug and drink it like normal tap water.
The mild chlorine in city water just wrecks my hands at work and stuff. Yeah, that combined with like the drywall mud is fucking murder.
So it's okay. Like, just going back to you drying out for January for a second.
Yeah.
You're taking January off of drinking. I'm taking February off of drinking.
That's a way to cheat that month, boy. Leap year is 28 days.
29 days. 29
oh
days.
My God.
All right.
So, yeah, no, that's cool.
I've got too many shows in January to dry out for January.
Yeah,
most of them are brewery or bar shows too, where they pay you with a tab.
Yeah, no, that's true. You're welcome for bartering that one out too.
Yeah,
but,
I appreciate that.
No, I drank so much on New Year's, and I woke up New Year's Day with little to no hangover. I drank. Oh God, okay, it's gonna seem bad. I drank 3/4 of a bottle of tequila.
Oh shit!
I drank. It's just starting. I drank 3/4 of a bottle of tequila. I had 8 craft beers. I had a bourbon. I had champagne. And then I had, must have been like an air raid, which was like, I call it a round of B-52s. I think I did 4 of those.
Jeez, how's your liver?
That's told me to stop. So it's like a Chris, that was impressive and all. And I woke up with the mildest of hangovers. And I was just like, uh-oh. My tolerance is way high right now, so let's just cap that for January. And yeah, so
no, that's fair. I New Year's Eve, because like I didn't start throwing up till the 1st, but New Year's Eve I had 6 Heinekens, six Heinekens, a 6-pack of Heinekens. Starting at like 1 p.m.
Oh,
so like
wow.
I was nursing them throughout.
Yeah, I also started drinking just after lunch too. I think we had like brunch, and I was like, "Gonna prep dinner," and started eating.
You just opened the tequila.
Just opened up the tequila and just kept going.
Yeah.
But the other half of the house was also, I think, had the same kind of stomach thingy going on. But Amanda and I didn't. We were just like, so yeah. Yeah, it was a good night.
I was because like obviously I hadn't been drinking that much in January because we've been sick.
Yeah.
But last weekend, James, Kate's brother, you met James at Wu-Tang, Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
We went to a bar to watch the Pats game. And
that was fun.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. But I ordered like a round of wings, just like wings, and between I think I had maybe the equivalency of a pitcher throughout that game. And then I went home and just puked everything.
Projectile.
It was just one of those things where like I was just kind of like standing in the bedroom and I was like, I don't feel so good. And just like I go to the bathroom and I'm just like I'm standing. I don't even like get down over the toilet. I'm just standing. I'm like,
It was like The Exorcist, but with chicken wings and beer.
Exactly. I still taste chicken wings in the back of my throat.
Oh man, there's probably something stuck on your palate. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. I don't know how many times I can scrub my mouth out and not get it.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're into 2020. We're both taking some time to just
take some time. Whoa, okay.
We got a bunch of shows coming up too.
We sure do. We've got something next weekend in Carp for the
for a hockey team.
For a hockey team. They're trying to raise money to go to New York, so we got a little fundraiser event for them on the 18th.
Hockey culture meets New York culture. It's just gonna be.
Well, upstate New York is so close to us that
not New York City.
They're not going to New York City. They're going upstate New York. I think where was the Winter Olympics? Pike Peak? No, I don't want to say Pikes Peak, but
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, yes, they're going to Lake Placid to do hockey there.
The place where the alligators from the movie.
Yes,
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, the movie, as well as the Miracle on Ice, 1980.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck that shit, totally. I'm actually I'm hosting Poor Boy on the 16th.
Oh right, you're doing Poor Boy.
Yeah, I'm doing Poor Boy.
That's at Poor Boy.
That's Poor Boy on Somerset. And just off of Leeds. Leeds out? Yeah. Lion. Anyway, they run a really great weekly show. They're actually getting really good turnouts.
They are. I did them when they were doing monthly shows. I haven't done a weekly show.
This would be actually my first weekly for sure.
Okay, you're hosting it.
Yeah, I'm hosting it. So that's good. And then the week after that, we have the brewery runs.
Yeah, we got Evergreen out in Canada
on the Thursday, and then we have Whippersnapper on the Friday.
I'm actually going to be on this Whippersnapper show.
Yes, this is the actually champ on the show this time.
You know what Whippersnapper did this week? You know how they normally release their own craft beer each week?
Yeah.
This week they released a craft root beer.
Oh, neat.
That they made themselves.
Like an actual non-alcoholic root beer.
Non-alcoholic root beer. It's $6 a liter, so it's a little pricey, but it's
craft
good.
Root. Yeah, it's craft root beer. I should actually dip in there and say hi after we're done recording.
Yeah, I asked them. He's been making some of these wooden pallets into couches. Because I asked him, he's like, "Are you actually going to be on the show?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be on the show." I was like, "Are you going to actually have some chairs?"
Well, I also looked at the special event rentals this week, and that's what I'm going to go settle up with him. Is if he's got a couple of benches and whatever made from pallets, that's cool. But I'll also go it's $1.10 a chair. And you have them for the whole weekend. So literally, I'll pick
and
up.
And if we're just looking for 30 chairs, that's
whoop-de-doo.
$33.
Yeah, I'll wash the cost and bring it back when I return the speaker. Or when I don't have to return speakers for them because they have a full setup.
They have the full setup, and we just turn the lights around. Right?
Yeah, thank God we did that. And Vimy has been canceled.
Yeah, the Vimy show on Saturday has been canceled,
and that's just.
You know what? We've said it on this on this podcast before. Fuck yucks.
Yeah, and it's a shame because Vimy has great beer, and the guy Kevin and Mark are both really great guys. But
when you're gonna make a brewery sign an exclusivity contract, that's not us.
No, that's not us. That's 100% Yuck.
That's a club. A club has decided to make them sign an exclusivity contract.
I get that they are trying to protect their brand, and I get that. But at the same time, fuck.
Here's the thing: it's
business. It's a business of comedy. I can't be mad at him for it.
But at the same time, what Yuck Yuck Satellite Room has really survived in Ottawa?
Bingo. Anyway, so
I don't have.
Maybe we'll be back with Vimy next year. Who knows? It's great. I would highly advise going there and checking.
Yeah, support them still.
They have a great Canadiana. There's a lot of really cool stuff around there that is representative of our nation, and their beer is freaking great. So
yeah,
it's great.
And we're also in talks with some other breweries to expand stuff.
Mississippi is actually going to be the other swing to that one.
That's nice.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It'll ramp up in size. So, and we're also talking with Brew Revolution out in Stittsville.
I sent you a message about them. They got a really nice.
They have a nice opening feel. It feels a lot like Evergreen. I did. I went in just before the New Year. I picked up a quart of their blonde, and it's good. I
haven't tried their beer. They did a pop-up vinyl sale, so I went and bought a bunch of vinyl.
Oh, nice.
Through like apartment 613.
Yeah, so they want to actually start one on a Wednesday, so it would be a Wednesday through Saturday run.
Okay.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
See, I popped in there on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and it was full.
Yeah, no, the day before New Year's, and there was 20 people in there.
I fully believe they could sell it a Wednesday show.
Yeah, absolutely.
One more show that I'm on is I'm on at the Carlton Place Gastropub on January 31st.
Oh, the end of the month. Very nice. Yeah,
last Friday of the month if you're out in the
CP,
valley.
Yeah, that's cool. I might just pop in. I like being able to have a $10 Stein on the last day of dry out. Yeah, beat it! I'm shaking. Have one Stein again.
It's the last night that I'll be able to.
Yeah, so we're going to be both in fine shape at Carlton Place if you guys want to come on out.
So we're looking for a designated driver. You know what? All right, this has been good catching up, but we should get into this with Ryan Belleville.
Yeah, we definitely should. Enjoy.
Hey, guys, it's Ryan Belleville.
Enjoy.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing, Radioland?
Hello, people.
We are here with Mr. Ryan Belleville. Thank you for coming to the murder room today.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure.
Yeah.
It's not very murdery. You say murder room, but it has a mild Dexter quality, but not too bad.
Yeah, it's not plasticky enough.
That's why I've been covering the walls with, like, comic book shit, because it makes it seem a little bit more open.
I love it.
Yeah,
and then,
like, we'll distract you while we murder.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh, look at that. It's Batman. Yeah.
Jumping straight into this, Mr. Belleville.
Of course.
That's what we get.
You are actually probably our most famous guest so far.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wait, up that level. Take that, Ward.
That's right. You all suck my... Anyway, can we swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. We're just like, we've set some rules with Chris where you can't say the R word.
That's bad.
That's bad word. Yeah, I get it. I get it, yeah.
We said that in the first episode.
That's fair. I got it.
It's a crazy callback.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
You right now, like, just to kind of like capping your like credits here. You're on Working Moms with Catherine Reitman. You're a voice on Hotel Transylvania, the TV series.
That's right. Yeah, did some animated stuff.
Yeah, and you're also like a touring stand-up comedian and dad and like ultimate like a content creator. You got voice acting, stand-up,
a lot of writing, all this stuff. Yeah, totally. And still a dad. The greatest job.
The superest job.
The superest job. When I'm on stage and people are standing and clapping and crying with joy, I'm like, this compares not at all to cleaning a shit-covered bum.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like you don't want to be anywhere else.
No, of course. That's the thing. It's like you got to joke about your kids. Otherwise, you go crazy a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't make fun of your portion of life like that, you got problems.
It's why people love like Working Moms, because you got all these people who it's a little bit dirty and a little bit like crass and silly, and it's not really about kids, but it's about parents.
It's about parents and the kid adventure.
Yeah, like what a relief. So people love it.
Well, and like the very first scene of the very first episode where the three of them are in like that class and they're examining each other's breasts.
Yeah.
And the entire class is like, "Can we move on?"
Yeah. That was a super bold. That's a great opening.
That's a great opening. That cat caught everybody for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't on the first season, right? You came in season 2?
No, I was there. I've been there since the beginning.
Oh wow, sorry.
30 episodes strong and still going.
Yeah. I'm in that episode.
I got with time constraints in my regular life, I'm still halfway through season 1, but I'm still enjoying it. Also, The Mandalorian came out, so
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm waiting for. I was going to watch Mandalorian at home, or while I was on the road, my wife's like, "You're not allowed to watch it until you get home." I'm like,
snap.
"All right."
We still have a couple banked up.
Oh yeah, I got two or three down.
That's good. Yeah, I'm at the end of 3 right now. So, and I also had to watch. I was told to by the whole family. I had to watch The Irishman this week.
Oh, that's homework, but it's good homework.
It was good homework.
2 hours in. I've been watching it for 2 weeks, and I'm 2 hours in.
Yeah, watch it like short form series.
Yeah,
20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, the third part's really going to let you down, but that's fine.
But the nice thing about Mandalorian is it's like we literally watch it. We have a projector at our home.
Yeah,
and like it's just in the bedroom, and we didn't want a TV in our bedroom. But like we got like a cheap projector and like a sheet, and so we'll do like movie nights. We've been watching The Mandalorian, and all like the kids can watch it together. And,
it's not ultraviolet. There's
it's totally perfect.
My partner had zero interest in watching it until now. Like Baby Yoda is a thing, and so she came to me yesterday. She's like, "Have you started it yet?" I was like, "No, I was gonna binge it this weekend." She's like, "I want to watch Baby Yoda." I was like, "All right."
didn't like wasn't a Star Wars fan at all too, or.
She?
Yeah.
Oh, she's watched the movies, but she just never is like really. She didn't care about the show.
Yeah, Baby Yoda man.
Baby Yoda man. Yeah, absolutely.
Baby Yoda.
The fact that it's
all of us screamed when we saw Baby Yoda for the first time. Like everyone in my family was like, "Ah!" Oh my god! What is this?
How many? Like, how big's your family?
Well, there's 4 of us. There's 4 of us. So it's myself, my wife. We have 2 kids. I got a 9-year-old boy, and I have a 3-year-old girl.
There's a gap.
Yeah, there's a gap. It's a big one, but it's good. It's like It's good. It's like. He can watch over her a bit, but they're going through different phases, so they still play together, which is sweet.
Yeah, that's nice.
They don't fight that much because
there's a bigger gap and he gets it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same gap that I had with my brother, and it's like we never really fought that much, but it was harder for him because I remember there's one time I went to go give him a hug, like when I was like 4 or something. And then as soon as he put his arms out to hug me, I like dropped down. I just right in the nuts. Yeah, that was it was like from Bloodsport when he drops down and like uppercuts him into the nuts. Yeah, I did that. He was so mad, and I ran away. And it's like, and then I ran and hid with the parents, and he couldn't kill me. But it's like he wanted to beat me up, but he's like, I can't beat up a 4-year-old. I'm 10.
10. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Yeah, so we got some getting to know you questions for our listeners.
Let's do it.
So the first one, what was your worst gig ever?
Oh, geez. My worst gig ever? It's tough. I'll say, like, I'll give 2 examples. One is, like, early on, when I was, like, a young headliner. This is going back to, like, early 2000s. I was in Winnipeg, and I got a call saying, hey, do you want to do a corporate in between shows? And the guy who owned the club in Winnipeg, who's no longer with us, you had to share the condo with him. And I'd heard horror stories. I'm like, I don't want to share a condo with this guy. I'm like a 20-something-year-old dude. I don't want to be staying with some, like, 58-year-old guy who walks around in his underwear. So he's like, well, if you do this corporate, I'll get you a room. I'm like, all right, that's it. That sounds great. I'll do an extra show. The room happened to be, like, a little bit of a motel off the back of, like, one of the sketchiest bars in Winnipeg. It was really, like, a dire...
Boniface district there?
It was a very dire place. Luckily, the owners were nice, but... and then I show up, and it's a bunch of older Jewish dentists at a dinner party with no amplification, no lights, and the last thing they possibly could have wanted was, like, a 22, 23-year-old... comedian, like just guy who's just talking about dating and his penis, and they're like, they had no interest, and then they politely clapped, and I left. I'm like, my ears were warm. I'm like, this is just terrible, and that was terrible because it was one of the first times I realized how horrible it could be. Like,
yeah.
And I did all this to stay in a murder hotel room, like. Whereas then you cut to now, shows don't really go that badly anymore. Yeah. You get to a certain point, but I was in somewhere up northern BC doing a gig.
Fort St. John,
and I was doing, and they're always a bit rough and rowdy up there, but I was asked to do a corporate that paid pretty well at this like curling rink one night, and I'm like, all right, and I show up, and they were so hammered that 2 people were trying to fight me during the show, and one guy walked up into the stage, I say the clearing where I was performing, and pulled his dick out during my set and stood there, and eventually I said, all right, I'm leaving, that's it, I'm not doing this anymore, bye.
This was recently.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was just you're like, this sucks so bad, and then, if anything, in some ways it kind of saved it, because the show had been really rough up until that point, and a lot of work. But now they felt like beholden to me, because clearly the people in charge knew that this is
gonna happen.
We're in the midst of like Me Too movement, right? And there's a guy walking up, pulling his dick out, and you're like, this is not copacetic. So they paid me, and they're like, we're really sorry, and all the guys came out to see me in the theater like the next night. It was great, okay, yeah. But yeah, you're like those are my worst shows.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Oh god.
If you had an option to work with anyone in Hollywood, who would it be?
Anybody in Hollywood? I don't know, Chet.
You're already working with like Reitman legends.
Yeah, that's true. Right. So.
I don't know. There's been a lot of cool people that I've gotten to work with, but it's hard to say. I mean, as a kid, I always wanted to work with Steven Spielberg. That's kind of the dream.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just like a back of your head. Yeah. Right on. Cool.
That'd be amazing.
All right, I like that. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No. Next question.
Okay, what is your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich?
That's a good question.
I like a good Italian sandwich. A good, you got some peppers, you got a selection of Italian meat, some cheese. Boom!
Good deal.
Good Italian sandwich.
All right,
get some gout. Get some gout on a bun.
Final get to know you question before we hop in. What's your favorite Ray Liotta film?
Favorite Ray Liotta film? Oh my god. Well, it's got to be Goodfellas, I think.
There you go.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, all right, that's good.
That's kind of the obvious answer.
Yeah.
I should have preface what's your favorite Ray Liotta film, and it can't be Goodfellas.
You can't do that. Mine's No Way Out.
Gotta be good. Every time you think of him, you think of
Goodfellas. Yeah. Or his head getting cut open in
Hannibal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he gets to eat his own brain. Oh, I like that smell. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. So.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming in today.
That was great, guys. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
10 minutes with Belleville. That's all we can afford. Right. Good talk.
You actually just recently shaved your head.
I did. Yes.
Like on stage. Arthur Simeon, very funny comic.
Yes, that's right. My buddy shaved my head. I was raising money for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. I was like, I'll get if I can raise $10,000 in like 10 days, I'll do it. And we raised about $13,000 or $14,000. So I had to shave it. I'm like, all right, and I'm not going to be shooting anything for a while, so
it makes sense.
So now it's holidays. I got some time to grow it back. Hopefully,
that was part of my question. Is like you're like in the middle of a TV show. Like, what do you do?
Well, I mean, season 4 comes out in February, and I assume if it comes back, it won't come back until summer. So
yeah, you got time.
I got time, and even other projects. Like if I want to do other stuff, I should have enough hair. Hopefully by January, February, that it's kind of...
I'm sure there's great people in art and makeup that can
really fix this stuff. Yeah,
see what they do with Trent McClellan on CBC.
Yeah, I'll get a weave. Put in there, right? Get some hair extensions put on.
Just little ones.
Just littlest tiny hair
I can lend you some hair. Because I'm in full Marv mode.
It'll come back. It'll come. It's already coming there. It's been less than a week.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to raise all this money for sick kids?
Well, my second child, I have 2 children right now, but my first daughter was born with trisomy 18, which is a genetic disorder. So she was a very sick little girl and did not survive beyond 3 weeks. So it was a pretty shitty time in our lives. Because I was working on a TV show at the time, which is supposed to be great. And we took a break for me to have the baby, she came premature. And then we had to deal with, our lives kind of collapsing. I had to go back to work, which was really rough. And my wife kind of held down the fort. And then I had to go on promotions for this TV show. And then I had to go to Just for Laughs and do stuff. So it was it was never a chance. And then eventually it's kind of I fell apart somewhere in September or October when I finally could stop and breathe. And then that show didn't get picked up and kind of everything fell apart a bit. And then slowly I put my life back together. But I wanted to just do something. Especially if you're a parent and something happens to your kids, you feel very impotent and unable to do anything. But it's been several years and the things are kind of scarred over, but you still want to do something positive.
Yeah,
that's basically why.
So, and Sick Kids was part of the journey for
you
guys?
It's funny because it's Sick Kids. We were the East General Hospital in Toronto, and the staff was great. But she was sick. We couldn't go to Sick Kids. We couldn't even really go home. There's a point where should we stay home or not, or stay in the hospital? But Sick Kids was coming in. People were coming in, counselors, genetic counselors, everything, all the kind of stuff you'd want. People who can help you, palliative care unit. They were all there. So that was the upside, and also that's where all the parental resources are. I mean, Sick Kids makes gobs of money. It's one of those things where they make a lot of money because a lot of people donate and it's a good cause. But I also think just trying to raise awareness just for parents, because parents go through a real shitstorm too. Everyone's all the ads show the kids what fighters I'm a fighter. I'm a superhero too, and you're that's amazing. And these kids are superheroes.
Let's just pan back for a second. Yeah, the same shot, and the dad's in the corner just losing his hair and crying.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a dad who still has to go to work, and he's still working 50 hours a week just to just to make money, and the mom's sleeping in the hospital, and then somebody's got to still pick up the other kids, and still kind of keep it together and be like, you're going to be okay. And meanwhile, they're building like tumors in their own intestine out of stress. So that's about it. That's the main reason. But I mean, it's also just very selfish. Sometimes you need to do something that feels kind of good, and I don't have a ton of money. Like I just wanted to raise some cash. If I had the money and I could just give $13,000
away,
I'd do it. But I'm like, at least I knew I had enough kind of cachet.
You got like a good network of people that would support it.
And that I could probably, like, we did a run for sick kids, like a couple years after she passed away. And my wife and I ran together. And between the two of us, I think we raised like $5,000.
Okay.
And it's one of those races where like people, you donate like $50 or $100 to get to do the race. They're like, holy shit. They looked at our donations like, wow, nobody's ever
pulled this much in.
No, pulled this much in. Right. And then at the end, they give awards to people with the best times, and they get like fitness bands. Like, well, we raised $5,000. Well, can we get a fitness band? They're like, sir, that's not what it's about. Like, yeah, we know.
With that whole situation with your second child, did you guys know that it was was it a complicated pregnancy? Were you aware that there was going to be issues?
She was just very small. Like that's the only thing. She wasn't gaining a lot of weight. So that was always a concern. Like that maybe there was something going on with the placenta. But we knew she would be tiny. And then when she didn't get any bigger and then she started having some heart problems, that's when they're like, we got to get this baby out. But we just thought it was premature. It was like everything we were told was probably placenta related. And then the baby came out. And then even then you're like, in retrospect, we could see like she had to be on a respirator, a bunch of stuff at first, and like tube fed because she was pretty premature. But in retrospect, I'm like, there were signs, but everyone's very cautious. They don't want
to jump right to the worst thing possible.
They don't want to jump. It's funny that when my son was born, he had like a bit of a heart murmur. And which is totally normal, like because the valves in the heart aren't fully formed yet, and it takes sometimes like the kids can have heart murmurs for like years. But he had a tiny one, and the doctor there was a new doctor there, like doing rounds, and like they were monitoring my wife, and they were getting ready for a C-section, but he came out naturally, and then they checked his heart. And they did. This is part of the reason why I got my son baptized, which I'll get back to, because like there's that moment where you're like, I don't believe in you, big guy up there, but if everything's okay,
the force worked out.
And then other things happen in life, and I'm like, I definitely don't believe in you, but I still said that. I'm like, if things work out, I will get baptized. And so his heart was fine, but they took him immediately away. So my wife is like getting stitched up, and I'm like with the baby as they're checking his heart, and like, which is a bit scary. They're doing like a cardiogram on your brand new baby, and you're like stressed out, and then they're also this young doctor. She's also like feels inside his mouth because look, he's tongue tied, which is just a thing where their tongues can't come out super far yet,
and that impacts their ability to breastfeed.
Yeah. So it's very common. They used to cut it, and now they don't cut it anymore. They're like either the baby can breastfeed, if they can talk fine, it's not, and it's never been an issue. He was like a little slower to enunciate a bit when he was teeny tiny. But, like, it's never affected him at all. And then the other thing she says, and he's got a cleft palate. And we're like, okay. What does that mean? Like, you're just so stressed out. And then they gave us the baby back. And then, like, an hour or two later, the head of pediatrics is, like, he comes in the hospital. This is, like, Women's College Hospital, which is has a big maternity ward. He comes in, and he looks, and he's got this lady in tow with him, this young doctor. And he takes a look at her son. He goes, well, first of all, her heart murmur is nothing. Like, he's fine. Like, that's absolutely, there's no problems. Everything's healthy. The tongue-tied thing is not an issue. Don't even worry about that. And then he feels inside his mouth. And your son does not have a cleft palate. And then he starts lecturing basically that doctor. And it's like, and it's irresponsible for anyone to even say something like that to you when you have a brand new baby. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you. But I kind of loved him dressing.
All the other doctors in the corner eating popcorn.
Yeah, totally. It was like a scene from House. He was just dressing down. He was just dressing down this piece of shit doctor. Kind of like stressed us out.
And the actual diagnosis is lupus.
That's right, people. So but the side note to jump sideways is we did get him baptized, but I didn't feel comfortable. Like, I'm not Catholic, or I was like raised Anglican and baptized Catholic. Like, we went to church as kids, but I did not feel comfortable doing that with my son. But I'm like, well, maybe we should baptize him. And then we do have some religious family. So we got him baptized at the MCC in Toronto, which is basically like the gay church. It's sort of like the gay Anglican church.
So you got a fabulous baptism.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the choir's spectacular. Everyone's like very well dressed. People come out like dressed as cats, singing cats. No, they didn't. But it's super gay. It's super gay in a lovely way. And my son has two godfathers, and we're like, this is the perfect place to do this. And he did it. And then now I was recently like thinking, what if my son turns out to be straight? Does this mean he will go to gay heaven? Like, that would be such a bummer. This poor kid, he goes to heaven and he's like, wow, there's a lot of Diana Ross playing. And, yeah, but whatever.
No, that's good. And that was just, like you say, a spur of the moment. Thank you for not taking him away from us, and that was that decision.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. You're always gay. It's like everyone's religious when it comes to the moment.
Yeah, because it comes down to crunch time. Yeah. Oh man, it's here now. Yeah.
When you're out of options, you're like, all right.
Well, it doesn't hurt to like the final moments of my life be like, Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
On, please.
Repent.
Exactly.
Can't cool, can talk.
I got literally no other options, so I will turn to a sky wizard.
Yes.
Hope for the best.
Yes. Magic is awesome.
Now, how old's your daughter? You said
she's 3.
3?
Yeah.
And she was born after your first daughter passed away.
Yeah.
What like obviously that impacted your decision on having kids, and like I'm sure you had some conversation about, do we do this again or how
of course, yeah. Do we want to do this again? You got to kind of like just deal with shit. I was a fucking mess for like a long time. But then eventually you're going, and like even just financially, you kind of like, we had a good chunk of change from that show, which, you know, was a much more financially lucrative show than Working Moms is for me. But it was just, I just couldn't work for a while. It was like, couldn't really like work. Didn't want to do stand up. Yeah, I had to take time off.
Good question is, did you take that when your second daughter was born? Did you take some time off? Did you help in the early months?
I did. I was on, what was I doing? I actually, ironically, every time I've had a kid, I've been on a show. So it's like, my son was born while I was doing Almost Heroes,
right? Which
I was also a producer on. So it's like, he was born a week after we wrapped, and then I took a week off, and then I was in post-production. But my brother, who was also a producer on that show, had a baby almost the same age. So it's like we would do shorter days and trade off. And then I was on Satisfaction when my second child was born. And then I did a pilot in Montreal right around when we shot it, I think a week after my daughter was born. Like at something like that.
Okay.
So that was the jump in and catch up with anything.
So exactly. So we booked it obviously right before, and then I shot it right after she was born. And then that pilot didn't go, but I auditioned for Working Moms on tape. But there's an audition tape somewhere that I did from home with my daughter in my arms.
Cool.
Okay.
So I was just reading it, and she was a little bit awake, and I'm like, all right, I'll have her in the audition tape. Yeah. And
I'm auditioning for a mom show.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I had her with me, and then that was it. But yeah, we took like a couple years off. There was a couple moments where there was some close calls. There was like a blighted ovum at one point where we thought we were pregnant, which is just when there's just no egg, or there's an egg but there's nothing in it, right? So you're like, oh shit, you don't know about that till usually like ultrasound time. So you're like, do we want to keep doing this? And we literally got to a point where it was like the last month where like if things don't work out, like I think we should just not
holster it up.
I think we should just figure something else out. And then boom, she got pregnant, and that was it. It just felt like it was. We kind of needed to get to the point where we
shit or go blind.
Yeah.
Well, what was your healing process to get to that point where you guys were ready again?
Just time and booze and fucking
tours.
Everything. Yeah, tour comedy, and then late nights, and there's no set thing. Like we did a little bit of like cognitive therapy, which is where they do. I can't remember the term, but like you'll do. You like have like a vibrating thing in your hand, and it goes left, right, and then you like will go over. It's like a cognitive.
Yeah, it's a stimulation. Right. I'm a therapist.
Okay.
And
there it is.
We were talking in my office the other day about vibrating sticks and about how like there are some therapists that go that route versus other people that will do more talk therapy and connecting emotions to behaviors.
So I think the big thing was just trying to get like it's a very traumatic event.
Exactly.
Dealing with like a baby dying. So and watching it all happen, and it was very, very traumatic. So we had to kind of. I do think that's interesting, like the left-right, switching the left-right hemisphere of your brain, getting stuff out of your trauma center. I'm like, I get it. Whether it's that or time, I don't know. Sometimes it's just time is the only cure. Like, if things will get better.
Time does heal all.
Yeah, time heals all. I always say it's like you just build scar tissue, and it's sort of different. Like, I almost cut my finger off this year, and I've got this, like, lumpy bit of scar tissue, but everything's fine. It works great. You did the same thing.
Oh, man, I buried a knife.
Yeah, right in there.
Yeah,
and you get this, like, lump of, and you're like, all right. Everything works. Everything works.
It's there.
There.
You don't necessarily want it to go away because it's become a part of you.
Yeah.
And like the uniqueness that is your reality.
You get like a lump of scar tissue on your heart, and it hurts when it rains sometimes. Basically, is the metaphor I say, but most of the time you don't notice it. And there's like you could spend time thinking about what if, and like my career definitely took. Like a big kick in the teeth because I just didn't want to work. I just wanted to hang out or have a drink or whatever. I'm like, I just didn't want to do anything. And then like financially, like, whoa, what are we doing with ourselves? Like we just couldn't really make plans. So you go like, I'd half my 30s at least. It kind of blew away.
How was it like coming home and raising a son while dealing with all of these emotions at the same time?
It's hard, and I think a lot of people give a lot of bullshit advice. Like there is, no diss on the people, again, it's sick kids, but they're like, they gave us these grieving books and stuff like this so we can show the kid. And we're like, we're not going to hide stuff from our child. Mm-hmm. But anybody who has a 3-year-old, like kids can't even conceptualize wiping their own ass properly. So to go into like the concept of like life and death and all, like it's kind of pointless, and it's kind of like way harder for the parents.
Yeah,
because like they don't want to see their parents. Like, so it's hard enough to read "I'll Love You Forever" by Robert Munch without breaking it down in front of kids. Like kids are like, why are you crying so much? So
might as well start explaining the inner workings of Nietzsche to them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's very hard to grasp, and so we explained it a bit, and he was aware, but we also didn't dwell on stuff like that. And then we had great support system from like my parents. My wife's parents, we were living in Toronto at the time, so they both lived like an hour either direction. Mm-hmm. So
that's good.
People would come and help out. Yeah, we had good network. So it was. We had at least like when the baby was born to whenever after she passed away, we had people always kind of there helping out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it pretty much it seems like your kids are spaces 3 years apart each way. Like
pretty much,
your son, your daughter, and your daughter.
Yeah, roughly.
What's been kind of like the biggest lesson you've learned in parenting throughout this journey that you've had?
I think the biggest thing is just don't like judge yourself too harshly as a parent, because there's a lot of also like being a man is a very complicated thing. Like I think we're in a weird era of everybody's trying to reevaluate what it means to be a man and to be a father. And I think being, like, some of the old tropes are very real. Like, you have to take a lot on your back as a guy. Like, women have to carry so much water in parenthood and keeping the ship on track. And I know that's generalization. But men have to be, like, you have to be kind of stoic sometimes. Like, somebody has to be the dude who's like, all right, I'm going to work now, and I've got to, like, it just has to happen. Like, sometimes the men have to bury shit down. It's not healthy. Like, people need to communicate, but it's like...
I think the important part is if you do bury it down, have a healthy out for it later.
You need to, to have, like, you can't just sit there. There's a reason why so many dudes just, like, become alcoholics and, like, angry and, like, get sick. And it's just, you need to have a level of communication and be... But also sometimes you don't want to talk, too. Like, sometimes guys don't want to talk. Like, you need also sometimes to go play hockey with your buddies.
That's not even self-care, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's like, it's just trying to reevaluate what does it mean to be like a good father and a good a good person. But another thing is too, just not judging yourself too harshly, because everyone, we judge ourselves
way too
hard, especially when bad things are happening. You can't help but feel bad. You're like, everybody fucks up. Every parent screws up all the time. Oh
yeah. No one's infallible. Right?
No,
that's just it.
There's people who are like, we didn't give our kid gluten. We didn't do any of this stuff. Everything's organic. We watched we always had an open dialogue with our kids, and then their fucking kids go on a clock tower and shoot 20 people. That shit happens all the time. And
mostly in the States, but even
that's right. In Canada, they take a bow and arrow and kill one person.
Kill one person.
Yeah, that's right. So it's pretty much.
There's a lot of personal choice after. You can do your best job with the kids, and then hopefully you put them to a point in their lives that they're not going to go.
Totally. I mean, there's definitely. I love my kids, and they're totally my buddies, and they're awesome. But I also do very much subscribe to the fact that we're not trying to raise good children. We're trying to raise good people.
Yeah.
Good adults. So that means sometimes it's like they're not your buddies. They're not your friends. You got to go make them do stuff. It drives me crazy, people who have kids who don't say, please and thank you. And I'm like, it's not because it makes that grown-up feel good. It's because when they're a grown-up and they don't say please and thank you and make eye contact with people and do things, they're going to be fucked. They're not going to get job promotions. No one's going to want to hang out with them. No one's going to pick them for the sports team. It's just basic social skills. I have friends who have special needs kids who are dealing with kids on the spectrum. It's they're like, you have to hammer it home. It's their kids do not want to make eye contact with people. And they're like, I get it, but you have to teach them how to deal with that. And you're like, if they can do it, other people's kids can do it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's the bar set. See that? There,
just try it. Just try it.
Yeah, just try.
But no, it's stressful. You're like, 2 kids. It's you just hope it works out for them.
Are you guys done with 2?
Oh yeah, I got a vasectomy. We shut that shit down. We've gambled. That's right. That's right. We gambled. We've lost before, and then now it's and my daughter actually, it's almost everything's been so relatively perfect. Everything, she came out so healthy. She came out she's so smart and just beautiful and sweet. And my son's beautiful, handsome young man and very smart too. So you're sitting there going, we
won.
Yeah, we've won.
Let's leave the casino.
Yeah, a little bit. And the girl's been so easy, almost every step of the way. Her sleeping's never been great, but whatever. It's she's been mostly super easy.
Yeah.
And her sleeping has been great because we babied her probably more than we would have in other circumstances. Our son got more hard sleep training, whereas the girl was more oh, okay, I'll hold her. We'll just sleep in the chair together. Because of her total mushy, soft wusses, so because of our circumstance,
Well, and circumstance shapes everything. We're going through sleep regression right now, and we're doing
how old?
4 months.
Oh yeah, that's
so we're at the point where we're do we just kind of try and hold her, soothe her in her mouth, or do we actually
give her some Benadryl and
a little bit of 40 cream?
40 cream. Give her a little bit of this. Just gonna dip her paddle in the creek.
A little taster for you,
but yeah, and that's kind of something that we've noticed. There is just the sleep training is.
It's
hugely important.
Oh, for
when they were young,
sure.
Did you co-sleep at all?
No, with my daughter, I ended up a little bit. She ended up coming into the bed and doing stuff. But that was it was our brains that's not the right thing to do. I don't think, but it's whatever you have to do to get by.
That's it. And sleep's important.
Well, sleep's important, but sleep's important, and you do go crazy. But there's also a point where, your relationship. It depends. Everyone's I have a good relationship with my wife, but some people don't have it. You want to have sex with your wife. You want to be able to have intimacy or to even just be there for each other, and not have kids in your bed. You need your own space.
Oh, yeah.
There's a point where you need your own space.
In the new year, we're going to be trying to move her into her nursery out of the bedroom, and we'll see how that goes. Last night was bad, so if I seem off, I'm I'm running on 3 hours of sleep.
It always gets better. That's the thing. It's this is your first child.
First and only
child.
Well, it's same thing for you. She came out beautiful. Like there were some issues. Like she ended up being in the NICU, but like as like a baby, she's like beautiful. She's super strong. She's 4 months. She can already like pull herself up into a standing position, holding onto your hand.
Oh, that's great.
And like we're just like. We lucked out so much with this one. The only problem is the sleep. That like our next baby will come out like Gollum.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna do that.
Let's not run that dice.
No.
Game's
let's
done.
yeah. I totally get it. Yeah, there's a point where like I don't need to go back to the table.
Like I'll definitely know which kid will be bullied growing up, and it'll be the second one because he'll just be shit ugly.
Yeah. Well, and sleep's a tricky thing. I do think for parenthood though, when a big thing is also finding. For, like, the stuff we went through, for me, finding, like, a new hobby was good. Like, I got really... And maybe it's just midlife crisis stuff, but I got really into jiu-jitsu a few years ago, and I'm like, this helped, and it's like, it helped me, you know, I still drink booze and stuff, but I'm not
But you're physically also getting
in shape. I don't smoke anymore. Like, I started smoking again at one point. All the stuff I shouldn't be doing, but, it kind of helped give me something new.
to fight
for, something different. Outside of comedy. Comedy's... Because when comedy becomes your job, sometimes it's hard to enjoy it as your hobby.
Yeah, 100%. When it's like just you're surrounded by it, it becomes work. So going out to the club to enjoy the show, it's like it's still work because you're still networking, you're still on.
So I had a similar thing that happened with Amanda. Like my kids are 6 and 3.
Right.
We would have almost had Irish twins.
Oh wow. Okay.
But just naturally it didn't stick.
Right.
And Amanda went through a huge postpartum from that.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of demo at the time, so that vibration thing with the Sawzall did sort of help. And also I was wrecking shit at the same time, so I was like, stupid thing, but it's also a good thing. Stupid thing, it's also, you know. And then I just basically said to her at one point in time, I'm like, we'll definitely be trying again because I know you wanted 2. It's just a reset. We weren't ready for the second one. You know? And then the second one came and it was like, see, we were ready. Perfect. No problem. But she had a bit of that latching on because Eddie was so young and she had just lost what was coming. Yeah. So she was my baby boy, right? So there was a bit of a thing there. And she's gotten over it. Like you say, time heals all. And
you kind of bounce back and you kind of...
It just comes around. And then, like I say, with the daughter... Amazing. Like, there's tale of 2 birthing stories for sure. Way easier this round. And she is just super smart. I call her the raptor child because she's looking at you and she's like, oh, yeah. But she's figuring stuff out.
She's figuring out how to take you down.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't see it coming. And, oh, my God. You know, like, holy crap. Yeah, and then she getting her brother to do the more bold things now, too. Like, can you show me how to do that? And, like, he's doing the stuff that gets him in trouble because he's not as super quick. He's a smart kid, but, like, like
he's not a mastermind.
No, he's not. She's just, like, sitting in the background and fingers together like Mr. Burns. So,
excellent. Yes, give me the cookie.
Go, Joe. The cookies are up there. Pushes the chair over.
I do love watching them interact and like the 2 different personalities.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, we made 2 completely different humans. And that becomes you go like the nature versus nurture, and you're like, they come out their own person, and then you put whatever software you can into them, but they're still
that there.
They still have their own operating system,
Does like one of them take more after you and the other one take more after the mother?
They're just both different mixes. Like, I think my son is so sweet and sensitive, and I'm a super emotional guy. But my wife and her side of the family are very sweet, sensitive, like gentle, like kind people. Whereas my side of the family is a bit more like brash and ruthless, and that's my daughter. Like she's a bit like that, but it's a mix. It's a mix.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. What's her favorite thing to read with your girl?
With the little one, she just loves reading anything. She's just enamored with if you're gonna read, she'll sit and read anything. There's a Star Wars colors book that she loved. Did you read that one?
Yeah. She had one from Rebels that had a bunch of sounds to it, so I'd read along and then I'd like hit the button, and she'd hit the button, and so
they love it. So she loves it, but they like anything we can read, they'll love it. They love the elephant and the piggy books. And those kind of things. And I do a lot of voices when I'm reading, so...
You are a voice actor.
I do a lot of voices.
Those kids are lucky.
So they get excited a bit. But I also remember my mother is an actress and has a great booming theatrical voice, and she always used to read Like, I remember how much I loved when my mom used to read to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put on, like, a production for your kids.
A little bit. I'll do a bigger, I'll play, everyone's got their own voice, everyone's got their own character.
The playbill for the evening.
Yeah.
Okay, we're reading Elephant. Elephant talks like this. Oh, piggy.
But there's always, it's the best. It's fun. And then sometimes you don't. It's like you're supposed to read to your kids. It's really good for their cognitive development. But I'm like, sometimes you're just so tired. You're like, both of you, they sleep in the same room too. You're like, shut up, go to sleep. But my son's actually at an age where he sits and will read his own book.
Well, that's good.
So sometimes I'll sit and read with him. But like most of the time, he just sits and reads his own book.
That's cool.
And he'll read some to the girl. Yeah,
That's good.
Or he'll read. We'll go. Could you read a book to your sister before bed? And so he'll sit and read a book. Which is pretty cute too, yeah.
We read to ours every night, even though she's just actually like seeing the pictures and hearing the vibration of the voice and whatnot. But we went to the ballet. We went to the Nutcracker last Sunday, and it was like our first like real night out since having the baby.
Yeah,
so she went to her aunt and uncles, Kate's brother and sister-in-law, and they have a 4-year-old.
Oh my gosh!
And the 4-year-old, like they sent photos of the 4-year-old reading her books at bedtime, and it's
so
like,
cute.
and it was one of those like the cow says moo,
yeah,
moo books, and so the 4-year-old was sitting there on the floor, and Maddie was on tummy time while she was reading, and she was just enamored by it. So
babies are great. Like I love babies. I'm like I had zero interest in kids before we wanted to have kids, but now I'm like, I just love babies in general. Like other people's babies, my babies. It's kind of like
children.
Yeah, children. But there's a point where you go like, oh right, this is what keeps society together. Is that babies are kind of sweet, and it takes like holding one takes the murder out of your soul a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
you're like,
for sure.
100%. We went to a bar down the street yesterday, and we like took the baby in the stroller, and it's like a sports bar, and most people there are like drunks. Like they're people that are always there at the bar just as drunks.
Oh yeah.
And suddenly like we come in with a baby and like all these like hardened dudes going out for smokes. So like they stop and they're just like, oh my god, they're like reaching in and like get your greasy fingers off of my baby.
Here, please have a Lysol. Don't touch my daughter.
I understand that this has warmed your heart and that's fantastic, but
don't touch my baby.
Don't touch my baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a point where you're like people want to touch your baby like no.
Yeah. Right. But like. Ask permission? No, don't care.
Oh no, I no. Totally. We took our baby to bars all the time. Like we would take kids out, no problems. People who don't have kids are like, what's going on? You're like, yeah, we get to have fun too.
Yeah,
we get to have fun. We went actually on a cruise with my son when he was 8 months old because it was Almost Heroes was airing. We needed a vacation. I hadn't had a vacation in a year or two even. And we're like, we need a vacation. It's been really stressful, super. And I could also tell from the way the network was talking, like our show was, no matter how well it did, it wasn't going to do that well because the internal politics of Canadian television. They just didn't want to make comedy. And you're like, oh, okay. And sure enough, we were actually airing better than like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and they killed our time slots and everything. We're like, all right. Writing was on the wall, but we went to Europe. Like, so we flew to Spain and we spent like 4 days in Spain, and then we hopped on a boat through the Mediterranean with like a baby, an 8-month-old baby, and which was fucking crazy at the time. And I'm not a fan of cruises, but one of the things I learned is like Europeans are so much better at dealing with children than anywhere because they don't have like kids restaurants. Like they do here. Yeah, it's like there's no place where they're like, oh, this is the family restaurant where you have to go to that chain. It has to be kind of mediocre spaghetti and like chicken fingers. It's like you go to any restaurant and like you're in Italy and they're like, oh hey, the bambino, and then they don't have high chairs. They just slap some like phone books down and
that's good.
You're fine. Like they kind of pat it up. Like come on in. Anywhere you go, they're like yeah of course.
They bring the kids wine out.
Yeah, it's like okay, he did the cookies and the wine. Okay, no thank you. But it was amazing. You just be like, what do you want? Like I don't know. Do you have some noodles? Like they just bring noodles to the kid.
Yeah.
Like every place they're like, yeah, children are part of life.
How did an 8-month-old travel? Like, how was he for traveling like that?
It was a bit tough. Like he got sick when we were in Spain, so we were traveling. We were going around a lot. First 2 days, and they got really sick. We had to go to the Emerge because he was like just had really bad diarrhea, and then we're like, what are we gonna do? Like, should we still go on the cruise? And then we're like, they have they have great health facilities on the cruise.
Yeah.
So we're just probably as good going on that and making sure he stays
hydrated.
Yeah. And the truth is, it's just he's a kid and he's having like new foods, and it was that was it. He didn't have a really bad temperature. His temperature came down, and we're like, all right, well, we'll see. And he was fine after a couple days. He was back to normal. But
was he like walking by this time?
No, it was funny. He was not walking. He's 8 months. I think we left at 7 months, maybe and then it was around 8 months he started walking. So it was literally on the flight home. He was holding my hands and walk. I had to walk up and down the aisle with him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was like the flight back to North America, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But then the flight attendants took pity on me, and I would walk. I'd walk with him for like an hour, and you'd stop in the middle. And then you could finally pick him up and maybe try and get him to sleep. And then the flight attendant would come by and give me a beer, and it was great.
So you learn stuff on vacation. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's not that bad. Like you can take kids anywhere. It got so hot at one point in certain places. Like there's some stops in Greece, like Santorini. I'd always wanted to go to Santorini, and we pulled in and we looked at it, and we got on the boat. We went over late. In Santorini, it's like this. There's this giant hill you have to go up, either by like ox cart or something. And there's a massive lineup. Like we got off the boat, the little boat. We look at this giant lineup. It's fucking scorching. Like we'd just been in Italy, and it was super hot there too. And we're like, we don't want to do this. So we just got back on the boat.
The big boat.
Went back to the big boat, hung up by the pool with the kid, and took it easy. And we're like, yeah.
Yeah, pressure cooker heats. No, I never great for kids.
Nice.
No, it's not. We don't need to, and we also didn't need. It's like we're not really there to sightsee that much. Yeah. We're just there to blow off some steam and see a couple. Like we didn't go to Rome because there's no dock in Rome. There's a dock in a place that's about a 2-hour drive from Rome. So you kind of drive, you dock, you drive 2 hours. I've been to Rome before, and it's like, and then you walk around for like 5-6 hours, and you drive back for 2 hours, and you hop back on the boat. I'm like, that sounds like a nightmare.
Wait, how was it? 8-month-old?
There's 8-month-old. But then like you're in, Blue Urns indeed. But then you're in Florence, Italy, and you can walk around, and it's perfect, and there's all these nice shaded churches, and so like it was good. It was definitely
like a more accessible city. You gotta pick your battles with that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was just my wife had just never been to Europe. We're like, let's just do it while we got a little bit of money and make it happen. But I don't know if I would do that again.
I think I think at 8 months she'll be coming with us to Vegas for a wedding.
Yeah, great.
So
there you go.
Dry heat.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That'll be her first time on an airplane.
Well, what time? When will it be?
April.
It won't be that hot.
It'll be pretty good.
Yeah. He's gonna hang out by the pool and do stuff, and yeah, it's fun.
Judge other babies.
Yeah. What happens in Vegas stays in
Vegas. Including babies. No, it's good. It's good to travel with kids because you kind of have to just you do it like once or twice. You're like, oh, it's not that bad. I see people flying all the time with their brand new babies, and they look so stressed out. I'm like, whatever.
Just let it go.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, my kid traveled great too. And how was he? 18 months when we took him on his first plane back to Alberta.
Oh yeah.
And there's one connecting flight. There's one direct flight from Ottawa to Edmonton. It leaves at 6 in the morning.
Nope.
Yeah, it was. I said yeah. The wife was like, nope. I'm like, it's the only direct flight. She's like, yup. And we did it. And he ended up sleeping all the way there. And he landed and he woke up and he was like, we're in another place. Didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And took him to Banff. He just quiet, huge eyes. Just like, what are we doing at this place? How old? He's 18 months old. Yeah. He's just walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was neat. Yeah. I haven't taken Erica anywhere.
No?
No. Not yet.
She would be fun to travel with, I think.
Yeah, no, she's horrible to travel with. And car rides, 3.5 hour mark, she has to get out, otherwise she's going to chuff. She's an emotion thing.
Oh, okay.
We discovered that when coming back from Thanksgiving. I'm like, we're going to take not Highway 60, we're going to take this back beautiful route.
Right.
Yeah, and we got outside of Eganville, and she was horrible. Oh, that sounded horrible. And it was. She wouldn't like it. And then she went to sleep, so... For the last hour. Yeah.
I fucking hate Eganville.
I don't know where that is.
It's west of us.
Here, just past Renfrew by about 30 minutes.
My ex-wife lived in Bracebridge, and so every Christmas we would have to go, and we'd have to go through Eganville.
Yeah.
And it was so bad one year for weather that my car spun out in Eganville, and I was like, okay, we're going to stay the night. We'll let the
plows get
they have one shitty motel called the Pine Tree Motel.
Right.
And we went there, and my ex-wife, she left her favorite, like, pajama set there, and so I reached out to them. I was like, hey, can you like mail it to us, and here's like, you've got my credit card, here's my credit, I paid the cash, so I was like, here's my credit card number, just charge me for sending it back. And then 2 days later, someone took my credit card number from there and tried to buy a ticket to India.
Wow.
Yeah. Did it work? Did they get?
No. I had like $30 on my credit card.
That's right. You're gonna get to Renfrew.
That was the thing. I was like, there will be enough to send a package.
Oh yeah.
There will not be any more.
Yeah.
So that got flagged. So fuck Eganville.
Fuck Eganville. Yeah.
Scammers.
Yeah.
It's a town full of scammers.
Exactly.
Pajama stealing scammers.
All 7 residents.
Yeah.
And their 12 teeth.
Yeah.
We got to wrap up just because of time.
Sure,
What we'd like to do is we finish every episode by asking our guest to give their best parenting advice to our listening audience. So what is that best parenting advice?
Best parenting advice. Just don't sweat it, guys. Hey, and girls. Just, they're going to turn out how they're going to turn out. And give yourself a break and don't stress, and enjoy it while it's happening. Take those times, like occasionally put down the phone and enjoy the kid. Don't feel bad. Occasionally, you can't look at your kid all the time. Sometimes you got to play some Candy Crush. But that said, sometimes put down the phone and just enjoy the moment, because it's not going to last.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure.
Where can people find you?
You know the best? I have websites. Which I never update. I have all the stuff, because I'm terrible at all my career, but the career handling. But Instagram, Boost Rocket, or you can just search my name on Instagram. But Boost Rocket is what it's called, because I can't figure out how to change it back to my regular name. So yeah, you can find me on it. That's the only thing I really do regularly is post on there.
Okay, cool beans. And Working Mom Season 4 comes out in February?
I think it's February 14th or 16th.
Is that coming out on Netflix or CBC?
Comes out on CBC first. Okay. So be able to watch it on CBC and CBC Gem. And if you're in America, it will be on Netflix very soon.
Yes.
And I don't know about Season 5 yet, so don't even ask.
Don't even ask. But Season 4 coming in mid-February.
Yes.
And I think Season 3 just dropped on Netflix like a few months ago.
It did,
yes. Yeah.
Because I got the notification. So
that's going out. So
go back and watch Season 3 before you watch Season 4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
We here at Daddy Issues with Champion Kingsbury want to take this time to throw our full and unconditional support behind Iran. Now, we know that many of you may feel that Iran hit its prime or its heyday in the 1980s, but we're here to say that it doesn't matter if you do it all night or all day, or if you do it so far away, you'll never be able to get away.
That's right, Iran.
Iran so far away.
Yes,
I just ran. I ran all night and day. I couldn't get away. So, don't ever forget to watch out for that flock of seagulls and show your love for Iran.
And just give up your oil.
From the makers of the iWatch, the iPad, and the iPhone, and the Middle East conflict, comes iRack.
That's right, iRack. Having problems putting pool balls in their place on a table? Well, now we have the solution. The iRack
is literally a rack that you put the balls inside of, and they rack it up.
I put balls in triangle, everything works out great, but America's still oil.
So it's pretty much just a pool rack, but we're monetizing it with Apple.
That's right.
Give us your money.
Give us your money.
All right, It's almost time for our episode to be over.
Almost over. Are we doing what we learned?
No, we start with Dick of the Week.
All right.
Dick of the Week.
Dick of the Week.
Now, Christopher, for our newer listeners out there, is our Dick of the Week a bad thing?
No, it is not. And in fact, it is our Dad of the Week, or someone we're trying to give praise to.
Yes, this is like the good news feel story of the week. And, this week has been a shitty week for news.
It really has.
So it's been hard to find a dick of the week because people suck.
Yeah, people really do suck.
People suck.
I mean, that's one constant thing. They really do suck.
Yeah, and not in the good way.
No. No, not in the way you were like, yay, sucking. But
in the bad way. So we've actually given our dick of the week to the lowly little wombat.
That's right, a wombat.
A wombat.
Wombats in Australia, who are normally what you said...
like they're more isolated and predatory towards other animals.
Don't talk to us, we hate you. They're pretty much, the elitist seclusionists, right?
I guess, in the same way that, how koalas are riddled with STDs.
Yeah, because they fucking eat eucalyptus all the time.
Well, wombats are, just riddled with anxiety and rage.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But we've got this giant, the world's on fire.
Yep.
Right? Legitimately. And we didn't start the fire.
No, it's always been burning since the world's been turning. Not sure if you guys are aware of that, but... in Australia right now, currently, how do they sleep while the beds are burning? Well, they
hang out with wombats.
They hang out with wombats. Yes, the wombats have literally opened up their burrows
to other animals.
Yes, and they're like, please don't burn. We don't want to have that on our conscience. So, come on in and just share.
There was a news report about wombats coming out of their burrows and helping herd other animals that were at risk of this wildfire into their burrows. And not to eat or to murder or to do other awful things too, but to be like, hey, we got to stick together.
Yeah, I don't want to see anyone die of being burnt to death.
I'd rather you stay alive so that way I can feast on your remains later. Yeah. So wombats
are the
dick of the week. Looking at you. Stay classy.
Cheers.
Cheers, sons of bitches. Christopher, what'd you learn this week?
Oh, what did I learn this week? No, you're going to have to come back to me. You go first.
All right. Well, having been very sick over the last, 12, 13 days, the biggest thing that we really learned was our capacity to handle being sick and dealing with a slightly sick infant. Some of, the things around monitoring and not panicking and needing to go to the hospital just because a fever is up or a fever's been up for a couple of hours. But ultimately, utilizing our circle, our network to get people to help spell us off. There was one Sunday when we were able to get Maddie off to Grandma and Grandpa for an afternoon and we can just decompress. But, little things like recognizing when a fever is too much for an infant is huge. If a fever is at 39 degrees Celsius for more than 3 hours, you got no choice other than to go to CHIO, right?
Yeah,
Children's Hospital. The problem is we want to stay out of the hospitals as much as possible because CHIO's got some of the longest wait times. Over the holidays, they were 8 to 12 hour wait times. Yeah. We didn't want to go to the hospitals or the doctors ourselves for us because we didn't want to get sicker. We didn't want to take her. And on New Year's Day, Kate went to a walk-in clinic for herself. The walk-in clinic had one doctor that was supposed to be there at 9 o'clock. 10:30 a.m. still hasn't shown up. Wow. There's 22 people in front of her. It's at that point where it's you know what? It's time to leave. Yeah. It's time to just come home and sleep and take Tylenol and Advil.
Yeah.
And
this can't really be worth sitting there for that long.
So we learned our capacity.
Which
is important because when you know your capacity, you can work within it to not burn yourself out and end up like the animals that didn't get brought into the wombat's lair.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's right. I learned better capacity to censor myself over the days. Like I said, mentioned at the beginning of the intro that Eddie has discovered playing video games and the Wii, and we both kind of go life for life and level for level. But I hadn't played in a long time, and the last I had played was around my then teenage brother, so my censor was way off, and let's just say Eddie learned a bunch of colorful statements, but then I stopped using them and just kind of curved them in a different direction. So now he plays a lot like Dad plays, minus the F-bombs.
Well, we've talked about swearing on this podcast quite a bit, right?
But it was the whole attitude towards it, just the kind of when you're intensely feeling emotions, they say you will resort to their true speaking and way of, So
you have base emotions that are brought out by video games.
Fuck yes.
I remember
Player one ready to snap.
a former comedian who hasn't done comedy in a year, so that's why I call him, or over a year, so I call him a former comedian, Kamal.
Yeah.
Kamal used to say that he would judge people's emotional intelligence just based on the fact of whether they get road rage or not. Because he's like, getting angry in traffic for no reason shows how basic of an emotional human being you are. And so if you can't get through traffic without losing your shit, I can't trust that you can get through your life without losing your shit.
That's right.
And so when you're like, yeah, my emotions come out in video games, I think of like that.
A little bit.
Fuck off, you cut me off, you cocksucker.
Yeah, fucking douchebag level. This level sucks so much ass, Eddie.
and then Eddie goes to Amanda the next day and goes, "Oh, Mom, don't worry. If you can't beat this level, it sucks ass.
It sucks so much ass." Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's what I learned. The better censorship for me.
Yeah, better. Like, you remember how we talked about the difference between offensive language and abusive language, right?
Yeah.
And it's about whether the language is being used in a form of abuse, which I guess we are abusing Nintendo.
Yeah, we're totally against the programmers.
Fuck you, Mario.
Yeah, goddamn Donkey Kong, suck my balls, stuff like that. So, yeah, it was...
which is exactly what you need your son who's running around already being like, I'm airing out my balls!
Yeah, to
add a Donkey Kong, suck my balls to his repertoire.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll through this shit! Yeah, stuff like that. He brought a new level of keeping it real, that's for sure.
All right. So we both learned some valuable lessons this week.
Yes, we did.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. It's been great to be back. 2020. Yay. YOLO swag. Oh, gosh.
YOLO swag. He almost barfed there, guys. He literally almost barfed. I thought I was going to get fucking sprayed.
Oh, that was fun.
It was not fun.
It's the water. It's the water. I need more beer in my diet.
Yeah, you need more barley in that H2O.
Please rate, like, subscribe, comment, send us emails, reach out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, email. Do whatever you got to do. We got daddyissues@gmail.com. Daddy Issues with Champ and Kingsbury on Facebook and YouTube.
We got Daddy Issues
on Instagram.
Yeah. And
we got Dad Issues on Twitter. So find us, follow us, like, share. Special love goes out to Heather Hurst, Freddy Jones, Jacob Pollack, Ryan Belleville, and all you classy motherfuckers.
Yeah.